Good morning and welcome back to Farmer's Wife Homestead, and I'm still at my daughter and son-in-law's place, and we are going to be answering some of your questions today in the very first episode of Cuppa Tea with Stace. Let's have our first cup of tea with Stace. Cheers. I don't drink coffee, never have I drunk coffee, but I like herbal teas and I love lemon, honey and boiling water with a little bit of cold water. Welcome to the very first episode of Cuppa Tea with Stace, and I have got some questions that some lovely viewers have sent in, so let's get straight to it. So I got I mentioned this in a video a little while ago, and you all mentioned that you would love this idea, so we're going to give it a shot and we're going to see if I can answer some of your questions. It could be baking, could be cooking, could be gardening, whatever you like really. So it's kind of like little mini Q&As. So the one that had the most amount of questions was dehydration, and I've got some questions from Karen, Judith or Judy and Deb. So I've got my little piece of paper here to remind me what questions you asked. Now before I get started, I have started out dehydrating. I've been dehydrating for quite some years now. Right, had to get rid of the sunlight. So I started out with a really cheap brand. I'm pretty sure it was a Kmart brand, and they were great. The only thing I found with them was that you had to rotate the trays because the fan is up from the bottom, so everything on the bottom layers would they would dry a lot faster. So periodically through the day I would swap the trays around, which isn't that big a hassle, and if you want to not invest too much money in a dehydrator and you want to see if it's something that you enjoy, then definitely it's fine to have a cheaper dehydrator. Just know that you will have to rotate those trays so that you get a better product at the end of the day. But I used to do jerky in it, all the fruits and vegetables and stuff, and I was never able to make the fruit leather because I didn't have the proper sort of the tray liner that goes in those you know, the trays that come with the dehydrator. But I have heard that you can get barbecue rolls of barbecue. It's not silicone, but it's a tray liner for your barbecue, and you can cut them out to fit your trays of the cheaper versions. Now I ended up investing in a very good dehydrator, and I know in some other countries there's a brand called Excalibur which seem to be really good, but they are super expensive and I'm not sure if they're readily available here for purchase. But what I did come across, and it was a recommendation from Georgia at the Kiwi Pantry, and she had a BioChef, and I says, oh, what's your dehydrator? So yeah, that's what I got, the BioChef 9 tray, and I will link that in the description. And it is fantastic, absolutely love it. The motor is at the back, so you don't have to rotate your trays at all, and it is just a wonderful machine, and I've been hankering to use it. I use it a little bit here and there, but I've been waiting for all the seasonal produce to start becoming available, so we will be doing a lot more dehydrating coming up. So Karen wants to know how to dehydrate fruit and veggies She talks of pineapple, being able to get lots of pineapple. I'm pretty sure she said she was an Aussie. Correct me if I'm wrong, Karen. And she has loads of pineapples and mangoes, huge mangoes for $1. Amazing, we just don't get those prices over here. So I've never dehydrated mango for that reason, because they are super expensive. Pineapple has to be one of my top favorite things to dehydrate. It's just making my mouth water, and my kids love my grandkids love my canned pineapple, and I don't think I've given them the dehydrated pineapple. So now that it is in season right now, I need to can up a whole heap of pineapple, and I will dehydrate some, and we will do a video on that. And I also want to do fruit leathers. I've got so many plums, so we're going to do some of those. So yeah, watch out for some up and coming preservation videos from me. Avocados, good question. I'm not sure that it's something that I would enjoy to dehydrate, and I would have to Google whether it is very good to dehydrate, and I'll leave that up in the text box here. But yeah, it's probably, if you wanted to give it a go for it, but I just don't see that it would be very nice. Strawberries are another great thing to dehydrate. They become really sweet. Any fruit, really, just the sugars in the fruit, they just concentrate so much more. So yeah, I've done jars and jars of dehydrated strawberries before. I did want to point out that this is one of hubby's favourite snacks, and I haven't bought them for him for ages, and these are banana chips, and I just picked these up at More Wilson's. There's a 500 gram bag, and they were like $9 something, and I did banana chips thinking it would be the same, but it's not, so be aware of that. If you're going to do bananas, which you can absolutely do, soak them in a little bit of lemon water so that they don't oxidize, but you are not going to get the crispness of the banana chips that you buy in the supermarket, and that's because these are actually fried, so it's not that healthier a snack. So these are fried, and yeah, but a lot of people think that they're dehydrated. So when you dehydrate a banana chip, it is quite pliable and quite soft, but they are absolutely delicious as well. So, and as far as vegetables are concerned, I love my dehydrated onion flakes. So this is a 500 gram bag that I get from Gilmore's, and I just picked this up down in the town that I'm in at the moment, because wherever a Gilmore's is, I like to go and visit it, because they're all different at different stores. They've got different products, and I know at home that I needed some of these. I do, however, do these myself as well, but for convenience I just picked up this bag, but we will go over that in another video as well. Dehydrated onions are the bee's knees. I absolutely love them, and I'm going to leave my daughter with some of these as well. You can get them in season, like at the moment in New Zealand and Australia, they will be coming in season, and you can get the huge 10 kilo, 20 kilo bags, and then just slice them up and dehydrate them, and they just work amazingly, and you can have them right throughout the year at a very, very cheap, affordable price. Most of these ladies, I'm pretty sure, said that they hadn't used their dehydrator yet. They've for whatever reason, it's just still been sitting in the box. So the first thing I can say is just give it a go. That's how you learn, is from trying different things, and you find what you like and what you don't like. So I know that I tried asparagus last season, and it was an absolute fail. I got these little hard asparagus spears, and I didn't even bother to try and rehydrate them, because I just knew that they weren't going to be very nice. So there's certain vegetables that I feel that are better off to be frozen or canned. Not that I've tried canning asparagus yet, but I've definitely done a lot of freezing of asparagus. So yeah, they weren't a success. Peppers I tried as well, and I didn't enjoy them either. But I have tried dehydrating mixed veg, the little frozen mixed veg that are peas, corn and carrots, and that works brilliantly. In fact, I use them in a video that I will leave up here and in the description to make my own rice risotto packs, because it is way cheaper to make your own. I've also dehydrated pasta before. Same again, it's in another video, making instant boxed mac and cheese. I'll also leave that video, and all it does is that you pre-cook the pasta and then you dehydrate it, and it means that you've got pasta that's, you know, ready a lot quicker than if you boil it on the stove. So Judy said that she got one for Christmas and she wants to do strawberries and herbs in hers. As I said, strawberries are absolutely brilliant. When you're chopping them, try and chop them, you know, with all dehydration. Try and have everything relatively the same size, mostly in the, you know, width sort of side of things, so that they all dry evenly. And herbs are brilliant to do in your dehydrator. Now, every dehydrator will be different. They usually come with a book, and it will come with recipes and ideal temperatures. So just use your own user manual to figure out, you know, what fruits and vegetables should be dried at and things like that. Meats should always be at the highest temperature, because after all, it is a meat product. We make loads of jerky. In fact, that's probably the biggest thing that we make and use the dehydrator for, is when hubby goes deer hunting and he brings venison home, he will chop up a whole heap of whole heap of meat, and then give it a quick marinade, and we will dehydrate that. And it usually depends, you know, it depends how thick he does it. Sometimes he's just you know, does thick and thin, so I'll go through and I'll pick out the thinner pieces and let the thicker pieces go for a little bit longer. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Judy also says what I found most useful and what didn't work. So yeah, I've already explained what some of the things that didn't work, but there's still loads of things that I need to experiment with as well, because I feel like I'm still learning how to dehydrate as well. Deb also recently got one and has not used it, and she also wanted to know about canning. So I had a few canning questions as well, so that will be the next cup of tea with Stace. So I hope that answers a few of your dehydration questions. We will go into it more thoroughly in future videos. Once I get back up home in a few days, I will have a look and see what produce is around and see what we can be preserving for, you know, to use for the rest of the year. But those are just a couple of things, just a couple of tips that I'd like to mention, and look out for those dehydration videos. And I will leave an email down in the description box below if you want to send me some questions and you want to be in a Cup of Tea with Stace episode. As I said, you can have the questions be anything, cooking, baking, gardening, just whatever. It's kind of like a mini Q&A or whatever. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next one. All right, bye for now. So good.